What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen. So, you're dealing with depression. You're dealing with sadness. You're dealing with anxiety. You're dealing with the fears of tomorrow and the terrible things or unfortunate things that have happened in the past to you. And we hold on to these things, and what we don't notice is the longer you let it live in your head, the longer it grows. So what you have to do is you have to cut it at the root. It's not an overnight job. We can't reach all the roots in a day. But day by day, we must chop and chop down at the roots of this poisonous tree that is bearing bad fruit. So you may ask, how do we do that? This is not rocket science. It's going to be very simple. And I want to give you the keys to this problem, or to these problems, from personal experience. I'm not telling you something that I read off a book or something that I got from online. Because when I was going through this depression, this anxiety, this fear of the future, this fear of just every second of life, this has happened to me in a time where YouTube wasn't that prominent. It was there, but it was more just for entertainment, silly things. We are actually blessed to live in an age where all you have to do is put something in the search bar, and more than likely you'll find the result that you're looking for. Gotta have my fruit smoothie in the morning. This is what keeps my brain just fired up and going. It's the sugars in the fruit. Of course, I get it with no sugar, but the natural sugars from the fruit is very beneficial to our brain, especially in the morning on an empty stomach. Back to the conversation. Back to the topic. When I was about 12, 13 years old, my parents had split up. It was a bad breakup, and I didn't know at that moment until a little bit later on in life, which I still never realized at the time, what was the root cause. I believe it stemmed from that. And anyways, around the age of 12, 13, I would say more like 13. Yeah, it was 13, 14. I went through a bad depression. It was bad, guys. It was bad to the point where I would speak to my friends, and at that time I had a lot of I had boys and girls as friends, but I had a lot of female friends that I would speak to about these things, because a guy's not gonna go around telling another guy his feelings, especially as a teenager. We see it as weakness. But at that time, guys, I actually felt weak. I really felt weak. And I was going through this thing where it was like I don't know if you want to call it a phase, because it all stemmed from something. But it was bad depression. It was bad anxiety. I'm talking about, I just used to have these weird thoughts, man. Every time before I left the house, I would say, hey, this could be my last day walking out of those doors. And I'm not saying it to I didn't say those things to put in my head so that I could enjoy the day or look at life like through a different perspective. No, these are thoughts that I wanted to run away from. These are thoughts that were intruding into my mind, and it was bringing me down. It was. So what do I have to say to you guys? Well, first of all, let me finish telling you how bad it was. Like I said, my mom would be outside coming home from work, and I would have this anxiety that a stray bullet was going to hit her in the head. Why? I don't know. I used to have this fear of just any bad thing just happen. I mean, it could be anything. It was to the point where I became a what do you call that? Where you always think you're gonna die. Guys, if you know the word that I'm talking about, leave it down in the comments. I think I'm gonna have to move on because I cannot get the word. But Hitler had this. He always thought he was dying. And I remember a specific time where I was in the mirror, and for some reason, I don't know why, I saw the vein in my neck just pulsing. And for some reason, I thought I was dying. And a hypochondriac. There you go. It's a hypochondriac. And my family knew I was a hypochondriac because I used to think this way. I used to just bring up the most absurd things that you would be like, is this guy okay? And guys, I wasn't okay. Excuse me. Man, I would be in a room with about 15 family members. But guess what? I felt alone. Like I literally felt alone. It felt like somebody trapped in a soundproof bubble. And you know, it's one of those mirrors where you could see the outside, but the outside world cannot see in. And imagine there's just a crowd of people, and you're just right in the middle, literally right in the middle, but you're screaming, help me, help me, help me. They can't hear you. It's soundproof. You're waving your arms, trying to get their attention. But all they see is the reflection of themselves. You know that there's people there. You know you're surrounded, but you can't be heard. You can't be seen. And that was a very difficult time in my life. That was beyond depression, guys. That was beyond depression. And just to like throw this in there, I really believe that it helped me out in life, because now these days, even as an adult, sometimes we can go through depression, but I never faced those type of feelings of depression, the anxiety, and just like those fears would just overtake me because I overcame it. And this is why I want to give you guys just a couple key things that I believe could help you if you're ever in this situation. Hopefully not as bad as how mine was, but if it is, that just goes to show you that our minds, us, we can accomplish things. Okay, we just have to be positive. So get another sip. Number one, what I used to do on a daily basis, and I had to figure it out because I tried to just do it on my own. At the time, I really thought that God had abandoned me, and this is what made me grow cold from God, not knowing he was always watching. But at the time, I felt alone. So what I did was I started telling myself every single day, every single time I would have those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, I would put it in my head. I would have to force myself to say, this is only temporary. It's not gonna last. Tomorrow may not be the day where I find peace. Tomorrow may not be the day of resolution. But what I can say is that I know that this feeling is temporary. It is not forever. And I must endure until the day comes. Until the day comes that I am no longer depressed, that I have no longer have sadness, that I no longer have anxiety and fear of my future. And like I said, it may not be that day. It may not be the day that you say that to yourself. It may not be the next. It may not be next week. It may not be next month. But you know inevitably that day is coming. And you have to keep reiterating it to yourself in your mind and even out loud sometimes. Because it is only temporary if you make it to be. Just sit on that real quick. Because if you tell yourself, or if you don't tell yourself at all, I'm not going to get better. What's going to happen? This is the end of it all. This is the end of the book. All my chapters are done. I have no more chapters left. There is no cure. Because your mind has put a definite answer to the question that you asked yourself. Okay? And if you believe that you're not going to get healthy, if you believe you're not going to get right, you're not. Because our minds does not know the difference between reality and fiction. All it knows is react to what the mind tells the rest of the body. So, I want to leave you with this point. Everything in this world is temporary. I've had so many feelings, guys. I don't know how old I look to you. I'm turning 32 this year. I've been through a lot mentally. I have children. I've been in a relationship for over a decade. Over a decade. I've got some experience, guys. And this is why I really love talking to the younger crowds. If you guys are anywhere from a teenager, anywhere in your teenage years up until your mid-30s, or any age in your 30s, because I believe I've lived as long as some people who are 40, due to experience and the hardships that I've went through mentally. So what I want to say is I'm telling you these things because I know that it works. I've been through so many things in my life and I overcome them with that same thought process. Now listen, every day's not easy. My life is not easy all the time. And sometimes I slip up. It might be with profanity. It might be things that I do that later on I feel disgusted about myself. Because, you know, I know there is a man out there who's up beyond the clouds and he lived a perfect life. And anything that I do that would not appease him makes me feel like filthy rags. But back to the point. The point of it all is that no matter what it is that you're going through, it's temporary. The life that you are living right now on this earth is temporary. That's why I can promise you that any problem you're having in your life, any plot of your story, it's not gonna last forever. It's impossible to last forever. So keep telling yourself that, okay? This is only if you tell yourself that and you accept that reality. But if you accept the other reality where nothing's gonna get fixed, it's gonna stay broken. So guys, keep going and telling yourself, tomorrow's a new day. Next year's a new year. I'm in my 20s, okay. My 30s are gonna be great. Those are gonna be my prime years. Have something to look forward to. This is what's gonna keep you afloat when you feel like you're drowning. This is the #1 key to success in life. Not just financially, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, with that being said, guys, just know you're not alone in this world, because people have gone through the same things that you are going through. I have gone through some of the same things that you are going through. Some of you are going to come up and go through some of the same things that I have gone through, or even that I'm going through now. And if you just keep this mindset, I am not perfect, guys. I don't have all the answers, okay? But this is one key that I figured out in life that kept me going. And I hope that it keeps you going too. Try it out. Let me know. Save this video. Like this video. Screen record it. I don't care. You don't have to come back to the video and give me more views. I want this to help you out. Whoever's watching this, boy, girl, man, or woman. If you ever feel alone, guys, you could always send me a message. You could always add the page on Instagram, Life Through Light. The username is THRU, like a drive-through. That's all they had available. Life Through Light. And we're peer-to-peer service. If you're ever feeling down, whatever it is, shoot us a message, and we're here. We're here to be an open ear to hear. And just trust me, you're not alone, and we're gonna get through this. You're gonna get through this because you have me now. Keep watching my videos. Every time I post something, it's gonna be something beneficial that's gonna help. I know I've posted a couple videos, just going through these thoughts and stuff like that. But just always know that I always come back to this right here, what I'm telling you. This is how I live my life. No matter what situation I'm in, I bounce back. Because when I go to sleep, I always remember this. Yep. Going to sleep on a positive note is also an important thing. Remember that too. But maybe that'll be for the next video. So, guys, have a blessed day. Stay blessed by the best. And I'll see you on the next one.